Good morning. Reflecting on the story of Noah again, thinking about how the fulfillment of what God says that He's going to do is not always actually what we envision. It's actually a lot more difficult most of the time. And so you picture, for 120 years He's been building the ark, collecting the trees, putting the pitch on them to keep them watertight. The animals all show up. They jump into this, floating shipping container that's absolutely huge. It's like the size of 1.5 football fields long. It's like 75 feet wide. It's 45 feet tall. It's like this great big long box. It finally begins to rain. It says in Genesis chapter 7. I'm getting to the point where the rain has actually stopped, and so he's been on the boat for a year and 10 days. In Genesis 7:11, in the 600th year of Noah's life, on the 17th day of the second month, right? And then by the time we get to chapter 8, verses 13 and 14, by the first day of the month of Noah's 601st year, the water had dried up from the earth, and he removes the covering from the ark. So he's on the thing like a year and 10 days with his family, with all of these animals. It's not like a cruise ship that has water slides and an all-you-can-eat buffet and cocktails starting at noon. That would have made like being patient with this whole thing easier. And you think about it, they would have had to pack with them all the food and water to drink, eat for a whole year. And then after animals eat and drink, there's waste. You got to get rid of all that stuff, right? There's like goats bleeding. Let's say there's elephants trumpeting. There's a rhino knocking stuff over. There's like wings flapping all over the place. Noah has obeyed everything that God's told him to do. And for a year and 10 days, he's on this shipping container. The fulfillment, God keeping his promises, is not often what we envision. It's often much more difficult. As a pastor for a number of years, I've had the wonderful opportunity to be involved in lots and lots and lots of different weddings. And marriage is kind of like this. We picture this amazing opportunity. This thing's going to be really incredibly fun. And then we get married, and day after day after day after day, we wake up with the same amazing person. And it's a lot of work to keep relationships good, to keep communication open, to keep feelings from getting hurt. Like, it can be a lot of work. The fulfillment is not exactly what we envision. Sometimes it's more difficult. And then sometimes we think, well, hey, adding children to the mix is just going to make this more glorious. Right. Adding little people that you have to teach how to be human does not make it more glorious. It makes it more difficult. And in the process of the difficulties, I love the way that God is shaping us as the men and women that he's inviting us to be. He's shaping us. He's speaking into our lives. He's giving us opportunities to confront, to be confronted, to confront our own will, to align with him, to serve other people. And in the midst of that, we constantly grow. And so I'm not sure what God's invited you into personally. He's invited us all into a time of physical isolation, yes, but he's inviting you into some things personally, right in your own house, right in your own family, right as you're alone and single, or as you've got a house full of kids that you're trying to learn how to homeschool. He's teaching you some stuff. My prayer is that you would hear him and participate with him, and through the difficult bits, that you would embrace him and grow in relationship and allow him to build the character that looks like Christ in your life that he wants to build. I pray that you have a great day today. Thanks for joining me.